$7.8 trillion. That's how much the national debt exploded under President Donald Trump's watch. So what happens? In come the Democrats to try to rescue the country again. Let's talk about it in today's video. Hi, I'm Mike Greiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. I'm also a lawyer and an academic, and I'm here to help you stand up to the BS of the MAGA crowd. All right, so look at this chart here about the federal deficit over time. You'll notice a pattern here. What is the pattern? Well, the last time the U.S. government had a surplus was back in 2001. What happened in 2001? Well, that's when Bill Clinton's time in office came to an end, and George W. Bush came into office. You see right there. That's the last time the U.S. government had a surplus. What did George W. Bush do when he came into office? Well, he drove up the deficit. Boy, that's a surprise. Way up in 2008. What happened in 2008? Well, of course, we had a huge recession, which, of course, was at least in part caused by George W. Bush. So he left office with a huge deficit, a big increase in the national debt, and a great recession. Nice job, Republicans. And that's not even talking about the multiple wars that he got us into. So then in comes Barack Obama. And over time, he starts dealing with the Great Recession. The national debt starts going down and down and down. The deficit, starts going down and down and down. And lo and behold, in 2016, oh my God, it starts going up again. What happened in 2016? Oh my God, we elect another Republican, Donald Trump. So up starts the debt. Once again, and let me just clarify here, by the way, because all too often we're used to using the words debt and deficit interchangeably. Debt is the total amount that the United States government owes. Most of this debt is owed to the Federal Reserve. A lot of it is owed to Americans. Some of it is purchased by foreign governments and foreign investors. But the bottom line is debt issued by the U.S. government in the form of treasury bonds is viewed as a very safe investment. So people from all over the world buy them, and it's considered a safe investment, for example, for insurance companies to invest in. So that's the national debt. The deficit, though, is the difference between how much money comes into the government and how much money we spend. So when we did not have a deficit, when we had a surplus down here in 2001, that's the last time we actually did not have the debt getting bigger. Even when the deficit was going down, we still had an increase in the national debt because we're still spending more money than we had coming in. But at least back when Bill Clinton was president, we had basically gotten rid of the deficit. We actually had a surplus. Back when Barack Obama was president, we were reducing the deficit. We were heading in the right direction. What happens, though? In comes Donald Trump claiming that he's the king of debt and he'll get rid of the national debt in 8 years. Remember that promise? What does he do? Whoa, look at that! A huge increase in the national debt. And what happens starting, in 2001? Well, of course, we have a recession here. We have the pandemic, completely mishandled, of course, by Donald Trump. So once again, in comes a Democrat, Joe Biden, to try to deal with the mess that was created by the Republicans. What has been happening since then? Well, you can see a slight decrease in the deficit here. But the big news is that for the first time since the pandemic started, we're getting the deficit down to about $1 trillion. Right there, that amount. So what caused this huge increase in the debt during the Trump years? Well, of course, we had the Trump tax giveaway to the very rich, where he basically handed $2 billion, mostly to the rich, without any comparable cuts. And actually, over time then, with the assistance of his Republican majority in Congress, at least for the first 2 years of his administration, these former deficit hawks were out spending money like drunken sailors. Isn't it funny how suddenly they become concerned about the deficit again when a Democrat is in the presidency? And the irony is, that's exactly when they shouldn't be concerned about it. Because guess what? The Democrats are the ones who are actually trying to deal with the national debt, as you can see from these numbers here. The bottom line is we see this pattern again and again and again and again. And it's echoed, by the way, by research on how the economy does under Democratic presidents versus Republican presidents. But the bottom line is, you have the Democrats come in when there's a huge mess to clean up, and they proceed to do the tough things necessary to actually get the job done. And then because of the fact that they were responsible stewards doing the tough things, The Republicans take advantage of that, sweep into office, and mess up the whole system again, leaving it for the Democrats to clean up again. Well, if you want to check out another video I did about who's the responsible steward of government, check out this video over here. One of the things that has outraged me the most after the last couple of years is how the Republicans have been such hypocrites on the debt limit. If you want to find out more about that, check out this video. I'll see you then. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.